En un vídeo anterior expliqué el caso del científico Preston B. Nichols, quien trabajó para el proyecto Montauk, ya que estaba en ese momento trabajando en el ejército y destacaba en sistemas electrónicos e informática, además de ser un gran inventor. Se le asignó la tarea de armar un dispositivo llamado la silla de Montauk, que él en un principio creyó que era para experimentación de las ondas cerebrales del sujeto que estuviera sentado en la silla. Pero se dio cuenta de que todo ese proyecto iba más allá de lo que él creía conocer. Era un dispositivo para atraer a la forma física entidades formadas con el pensamiento, lo que se conoce como seres tulpa, pero de una manera mucho más rápida. En un instante lo que alguien imaginara se hacía real. Después de estos experimentos psíquicos se hizo algo mucho más asombroso: abrir un portal interdimensional para manipular el espacio-tiempo. Pues bien, en una entrevista muy interesante que se le hizo a Preston B. Nichols antes de morir, cuenta varias anécdotas sobre sus experiencias sobre esos experimentos, y en una de esas experiencias que tuvo durante esos años explica un detalle muy extraño relacionado con artefactos hallados por los cuerpos especiales de las élites, lo que yo llamo los rastreadores. En esa historia que cuenta dice que tuvo en su poder un disco de los Windmakers, extraterrestres que dejaron tecnología oculta en una base subterránea del cañón del Chaco, del cual ya hice un vídeo, y de tecnología de Stargate, portales estelares dimensionales, como los de la película Stargate, que la película y la serie se basan en estos artefactos reales hallados en diferentes puntos del planeta. Pero veamos qué dice Preston B. Nichols sobre todo esto.
Seen the Stargate series. That Stargate is real. I've seen it. And
which Stargate have you seen? There's many Stargates, no?
I'm talking about the physical one Roland Emmerich emulated in his movies, and Rick Anderson emulated in the series.
And where did you see that?
Up at Boston. Up at, what's the big lab tied to MIT? I can't think of the name.
The MIT? Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Lincoln Labs. Mm-hmm. They had the original Stargate, you know, that big metal stone ring, was up at Lincoln Labs on the Air Force base by MIT. And I was taken up there and shown it because when I was working with DARPA, part of my assignment was to work with that group. Try to figure out further, you know, how to use this ancient freaking big ring. And when they first turned it on, this guy comes through the Stargate with 2 master CDs. It gets handed to the government. Now, why the government didn't bury it, I don't know. But the government then handed to Roland Emmerich and told him to use it in his movie Stargate. He was privileged to see the Stargate in operation also. And that's why if you watch that movie, first thing you'll notice, the action doesn't quite match the music. That's because they were matching the action to the music that they already had. Now, each piece of that music, each track, 1 through 24, represents the 24th gene pair genome. And that last 24 gene, that's altruism. Then from 25 to 30, that's like a fixative pattern of frequencies for different races of man. Number 30 happens to be ours, and I think number 27 is yours. You know, it's for the black race. Don't misunderstand me. I'm not trying to go into any sort of segregation. I don't believe in that. You all have beautiful, lovable minds. It doesn't matter what color your skin is. It doesn't matter where you have your sex organs. Everyone has a beautiful mind.
How was it that you got into the side of the frequency of the music and how that was opening up doorways, portals?
Well, basically, at this point, I already had the connection to this character, Preston of the Future.
And this guy, Preston of the Future, would just literally walk into your 3D life here,
yep.
like me, and you would recognize this person as Preston of the Future?
That's why I got his fingerprints, and I got some of, you know, he bled. He got a cut, and I blotted it, and I sent that out, and it matched me perfectly. The glass and the blood on the neck and match me 100%.
And what future is he from? What year do you know?
I don't know. I don't think it's that far into the future. I think it's like maybe another 30 years after whatever this big calamity is coming is. I think he's from that time.
Is he
After
older
the
than you now?
No, he looks exactly the same. Exactly the same. That tells me that yes, time travel becomes usable, and I probably do eventually succeed on age regression. Or it's a clone body, I don't know which. But basically, after playing the steel phonograph record with DARPA, and convincing with the general that, hey, what kind of a joke is this?
Sorry, where did you get the steel phonographic record from?
That supposedly came to me through DARPA from the Chaco Canyon caves. That was in the cave sitting on a pedestal with a little indentation in the rock with what looked like a phonograph cartridge. And the record had 20 pi on it. That's all it had on it. And I figured, okay, pi represents an RPM, rotation. So it's probably 20 times pi rotations, which comes out to 66 2/3 RPM. So I took a 78 turntable and slowed it down to 66. And Stargate music! Why the hell am I playing this?
Stargate, the movie,
Yeah.
the TV serial.
No, the
Series.
movie.
Yes, the movie.
And I go to the local record shop and buy a copy of the Stargate CD. I use that to adjust the speed on the turntable, match it perfectly, and it matches perfectly. So I get very interested in this music. Then around 2000, I was sitting in my living room in East Iceland. Actually, no, it was 2002. I'm sorry, it was 2002. And I was listening on the predecessor of this sound system in this room to the Stargate CD. The dog is asleep on my lap, and I'm sitting back listening, trying to figure out, okay, what's with this music? The tonalities on it are perfect. And next thing I know, the dog gets excited. I open my eyes. There's these two guys standing in my living room with some sort of a strange suits on them, uniform, whatever. I say, who are you? He says, we represent a group you know as the Wingmakers. So I said, okay. And then they proceed to tell me that the problem I was having with the amplifiers is that I had the phasing wrong in the feedback, correct the phasing. Then they hand me this briefcase full of papers, CD-ROMs, and said something to the effect, this is the next step on your planet here of digital sound. So, okay. I take everything over to Computer Associates. And I talked to a friend of mine, Bill, at Computer Associates. Hey, what do you think of this? And a couple of days later, he called me and said, that's some sort of a sound processor. Of course, they'd already told me that the CD has a lot of distortion in the high end because there's only one sample at 20 kilohertz. And the bass gets distorted as you go from 10K to 20K. And that this program, you put it in a DSP setup, it will correct that distortion. What it will do is identify all the fundamentals and then group the harmonics and then apply sacred mathematics to align the phase of the harmonics to the fundamentals. And it does just that. It takes a CD digital recording and makes it sound like the master tape, from analog. The processing they gave me is fantastic. And after we put it together and got it working, I was actually able to sell the system to AMD, American Micro Devices, which is Computer Associates' parent company. And in 2001 Christmas time, I don't remember which, AMD was going to put out a chipset to replace all the existing chipsets in these digital players. Next thing I know, we get a letter on the patent that the patent's been seized by the military. Something to